doesn't feel good doing this after a loss. Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. I am APW Sports signing in, and welcome to another Bears reaction. Unfortunately, I'm not doing this with the happiest of faces, is because we stunk it up and lost 19-11 at home against the Indianapolis Colts. There's a lot I want to talk about within this game. A lot I want to talk about. But before I get into this game, make sure that you guys are staying absolutely safe. I know it's still a lot going out there. I just want to make sure that you guys are staying absolutely safe. And also, about 60 to 70% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed to the channel. And if you fall into that category, go ahead right now and click that subscribe button below. I'll wait. Go ahead, click it. But it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot I want to get off my chest, and a lot I saw within this game. So, without further ado, let's dive into it. First thing is first. The offense. I have to talk about this offense. Offense, let's just say, no balance. The offense had absolutely no balance. Now, I expected to be a different set of offense than having Nick Foles in, but from at least my vantage point, the play calling looked absolutely no different versus having Trubisky versus having Foles. I did not see any big of a difference in the play calling. And also, I just don't see why would you be so pass happy against the Indianapolis Colts team that has the #1 ranked pass defense in the NFL. Why would you be so pass happy against a team that's #1 against the pass? They have struggled a bit against the run this season, and the Bears did not, #1, commit to a running game at all. They did not block well for the running game at all. And on top of that, you're getting what? At first, you're probably getting 2, maybe 3 yards a pop. Okay, you're not getting big yardage. But at the end of the day, you have to keep the running game as a threat. Even if you're not breaking up the big runs. You get 3 here, 4 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4, 5. Eventually, you wear a defense down, and bam, here comes the 10-yard, the 15-yard, the 20-yard, and you break a long one. The Bears did not stay committed to any bit of a running game. Now, Nick Foles is a pocket passing quarterback, but also any offense in the NFL will not be successful if you do not have any type of balance. Any type of balance. Even if it's more skewed heavier towards the pass than the run, you cannot run the ball only 16 times in a game and you're not feeding to David Montgomery. David Montgomery is a very good back. He's not an elite back, no, but he could be a very good back. The Bears just forget about him. I can get throwing Cordell Patterson in the offense. I can get that 100%. I can get that. But when you're not feeding your running back, that's taking him out of the game mentally. Your offensive line does not have that same spunk when they're not being able to fire off the ball and attack a defense. Instead, you keep throwing them in pass sets. And it's not like the Bears have the best offensive line in the world. They do not. If anything, I think that's the weakest point on this Bears' entire roster is the offensive line. They've been solid. They've been solid running the ball this year. They've not been the best running team, but they've been solid running the football. Now, I get this is a West Coast offense, and the West Coast offense is predicated on the short passing game and using your backs out of the backfield and things like that. But you don't have Tariq Cohen anymore. You don't have that different element that can change the scheme of the offense. You don't have that element anymore, and you have to make adjustments within that. I mean, I get it. The offensive line played like crap. Charles Leno looked like the freaking, I can't even remember his name at the moment, the left tackle that we used to have. But it's just crazy that this offense did not commit any bit to a running game. Not even a smidge of a running game the offense committed to. I'm just so disappointed because I know this offense can play better than that. It just wrapped my head around. I just saw everybody. Nick Foles is a savior. Nick Foles can do this. Nick Foles can do that. Nick Foles, he's not a bad quarterback, but at the same time, he's not the GOAT. He's not the savior of this Bears offense. He's not the savior. A lot of Bear fans that I've seen thought you put Nick Foles in the game, this offense is going to look a whole lot better just having his presence. It doesn't work like that. I was telling people, pump the brakes on Nick Foles. Wait and see how a couple of games play out. Wait and see how a couple of games play out before casting him as the GOAT, casting him as a savior, casting him as this and that. I mean, it's the first game, but he did not look good in this game. Albeit the wide receivers could not hold on to the football. Anthony Miller, I don't know what's been on with his hands lately, but all I can think is, what happened to his hands? What happened to Anthony Miller's hands? It's just... And then you draft Cole Kmet. He hasn't been a part of this offense yet. I think he probably only has one catch, maybe two catches the entire year. You draft him to be a big part of your offense, and you're not using him as part of your offense. The play call, at least in my eyes, has been the absolute same each and every game. It's not the variation of adjustments versus what defense that you're playing against. You're playing against the number one pass defense in the league. You have to run the football more than what you had today. You cannot keep putting the games on your defense. I'll speak about the defense a little bit later, but the way you're calling plays, you cannot put the game in the defense's hands constantly. You have to score points. You have to move the football. Even if you don't always score on every drive, you have to control the clock. Control the clock. And we struggled on third down because most of our third downs were 3rd and 5 and longer because we were not committed to getting a running game going. What comes effective with teams when you're on 3rd and short, maybe 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2s? The Bears were on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, sometimes 3rd and 10s, and sometimes 3rd and longer than that. Any offense, you're going to have some sort of balance. And I feel Nagy's play calling throughout each game of the year has not changed at all. And that spells a huge problem for me. The Colts were the biggest competition that you've seen this season. They were better, way better than the Lions, way better than the Giants, way better than the Falcons. This was the step up in competition, and you didn't live up to it. Mainly on the offensive side of the ball. You didn't live up to it at all. I was telling everybody, pump the brakes on Foles. Pump the brakes. We're not going to sit here and cast in the guy just yet. It takes a multitude of things for an offense to work. Foles didn't play his greatest today either. So I'm not going to sit here and just blame Nagy or this. The offensive line didn't play well, and the receivers couldn't catch on to anything. So it all spells disaster, especially when you're going 3 and out, and you're playing a team that's, I can say, more complete of a team in the NFL in the Indianapolis Colts. You cannot consistently go 3 and out or consistently not get the ball past midfield and expect your defense to keep stopping them to win games. you're going to have to move the ball consistently and score points. They didn't do that at all. 3 points. I really don't. The last touchdown happened, but I kind of really don't count it because it happened late. And the Colts were playing a soft zone defense, kind of a prevent defense. Of course you're going to move the ball on that type of defense. Of course you're going to move the ball on the soft zone prevent style defense. Of course you're going to move the football on that. His offense, and I've seen it throughout the course of this year, it needs work. It looks like the Bears and Matt Nagy or whoever, they rested on their laurels just thinking, oh, we're 3-0, we're going to... No. Offense needs work, and now I'm going to speak on the defense. The defense held up for the most part in this game. While the Colts were going on long drives, they scored 1 touchdown. 1 touchdown. 1. And that was on the opening series of the game. Other than that, for the most part, the Bears defense did their job. And I think the only difference is the Bears defense isn't really creating the turnovers that we're used to seeing the defense create. And then on top of that, you have an offense that's putting them in bad spots by not moving the football and not being able to convert on third down, which hurts field position. Complementary football. Something I've been saying for the longest. You have to play complementary football. You can't stow it on the offense and you can't have it on the defense. You have to have both units working together to win football games. They had it at halves throughout this year. They had it at halves. But the defense was not connected. The defense was making some stops and getting them to field goals. But then on top of that, the offense gets the ball right back and we really don't move the ball nowhere outside of the drive where we got the field goal. So it's just... I'll put more of this game, on how bad we looked on offense. Now, I'm going to give the Colts credit here. The Colts are one of the better defenses in the league thus far. They did have a slip up against Jacksonville, but this Colts defense was a lot better than I even expected. So I can give credit where credit is due. This Colts defense is a lot better than I expected. Then you have the combination of Frank Wright and the mind of Phillip Rivers on offense. Let's just face it, that Phillip Rivers-led offense was balanced. Albeit the passing game wasn't necessarily the best, but they made plays where they needed to make plays. And that was the biggest difference from the Colts offense to our offense. The Colts offense converted on third downs. They kept drives going. They were able to get some yards. Our offense didn't do any of that. Any of it. And their offense, even though it wasn't scoring touchdowns, they were getting field goals, putting their defense in better spots and having them play with the lead. Now, I think how the Colts played is what I expected from the Bears. I expected them to play solid defense, and I expected the offense to be able to move the football. The offense didn't move the football. The defense had some holes. The defense made some mistakes, but they were able to hold the Colts to field goals. They played winning football. Now, it wasn't necessarily the best performance by our defense. Our pass rush wasn't necessarily the best. It did help that Phillip Rivers was not a mobile quarterback, and when the coverage was there, he had no option but to take sacks. But I just feel that, number one, the Bears' defense was not really creating the turnovers that we're kind of used to seeing them create, and it really hurt them a bit. You're used to this Bears defense getting fumbles, sacks, strip sacks, rather picks, anything like that. You're used to seeing this Bears do that on a consistent basis, and it just hasn't been there. It definitely wasn't there today. It definitely wasn't there today. So I say that we're 3-1 and we have a short week, but I just feel number one, the things that we can get better at, the play calling has to be better. It has to be better. The play calling from Ned Nagy has to be better. Now, like I said, it's a West Coast offense, but at the end of the day, you're still going to have balance. Number two thing is the offensive line has to be better. Offensive line did not look good at all today. Nick Foles missed some throws. He wasn't at his best today. I've seen Nick Foles play better. Now, am I going to be here to sit here and say I'm the guy that's going to say put Trubisky back in and do whatever? No. You make the change, stick to it. But it's at the same token that we need more out of Nick Foles as well. We need the defense to create turnovers because that's how the Bears win games. When the defense is making turnovers, it puts the offense back in spots, which comes down to the point that I've been making, that complementary football wins you games. Complementary football wins games in this league. Even if one of the units is not playing the best, you have the other unit that's, okay, we see that this is happening. Let's do this. We're going to do this. This is going to happen. It didn't happen like that today. Defense was holding the Colts offense and holding them to field goals outside of the first drive. And the defense do it what they can to try to create plays. But when your offense is putting your defense in bad spots and not really making plays on their side, that puts the Bears defense not necessarily in good field position, and you're defending a smaller portion of the field versus you're coming off a Bears touchdown or field goal or something like that, and you basically kick a touchback and you're starting from there versus starting drives from 40, 50. And the defense hasn't been on the sideline much for like 3 or 4 plays. So the defense is going to be tired. So the main thing I want to see from this Bears team going into Thursday is just complimentary football. And I think the offense has to be better. It has to be better. Play calling has to be better. Nick Foles has to be better. Offensive line has to be better. Receivers catch the ball. It was throws where Nick Foles had the ball there. The receivers just could not hold on. I'll give the Colts defense credit. They made some plays on some of those throws as well. But it's disappointing. But am I exactly shocked? No. I'm not really exactly shocked because honestly, like I said earlier, the Colts are the best competition that the Bears have seen this yet. But were they going to really step up to that competition? Defense, for the most part, did what they had to do. The offense could not do anything. I said I gave the Colts credit because their defense is a lot better than I expected. Even when Darius Leonard was out for the game, the Colts defense was still having success. Still having success against our offense. So I'm not going to sit here and just blame everything on the Bears. The Colts played well. Especially on defense. I'll give the credit where the credit is due. The Colts played good defensive football. Our offense can be better and has been better at times this year. It's just today it wasn't good at all throughout the course of the entire game. And I don't even count that last touchdown. I don't count it. Because it came late against a soft zone defense. I don't count it. But I know I'm just irritated and frustrated because I know this Bears team could be better than what they played today. I just know it. I've seen it. It's in their history. They can be better. They just weren't. So my personal adjustments, I will think, is commit a little bit more to a running game. Don't put so much of the offense on your quarterback's shoulders because I've made a video about this already. Your quarterback is not going to be elite. Nick Foles has never been elite outside of 2017. Mitch Trubisky has never been elite. He had a solid season. He's never been elite. You're not going to get elite quarterback play, but that's just fine. But just stop putting so much of the game on the offense, on the quarterback's shoulders. You don't have that type of quarterback right now. You don't have that type of quarterback. So commit more to a running game. Control the clock. You're going to have to do that against Tom Brady. You're going to have to control the clock to keep that offense off the field. You're going to have to control the clock. Control clock. Commit a little bit more to the running game. The offensive line plays better. The receivers play better. The defense, I'm not even going to harp on them too much because they was only doing what they can with what the offense gave them. So, overall, this team can be better. It's not over. This team can be better, and I pray that they get better. I pray that they work on the things that they liked on today. I pray they do. Because I know this team can be better. I'm disappointed because they didn't play better today, offensively mainly. I wasn't one to call Foles a savior. I didn't see that. I wasn't one to call Foles. He's going to make the offense be better. It takes a unit. It takes a unit. Now, it's a short week, but overall, I still see where this team can be successful. We just have to execute better. We have to play better. Mainly on offense. Complementary football is the key to winning in this league. The Bears need to commit to a complementary football team. But that's all I've got for today. Make sure you guys comment your thoughts down below of what you thought happened in this game, because I read my comment section. I would love to see what you guys think about this loss to the Indianapolis Colts. But that's all I've got. APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day. And I will see you guys Tuesday with 2 videos. The preview to Thursday and also the Power Rankings. So I will see you guys Tuesday. Peace.
I wanna say thank you to my mom and my daddy for making love the night that you had me. Wanna thank my friends, my sister, and my brother.